Let's go back to a hospital, not a broken trolley this time. Just a quiet corridor, white walls, soft beeping, the smell of disinfectant. Down this hallway, there are 5 patients in critical condition. One needs a heart, one needs a liver, 2 need kidneys, 1 needs lungs. Their doctor knows something brutal. Without transplants, all 5 will die soon. Now picture another room. In it lies a 6th person. Healthy. Came in for a routine checkup. Maybe a sports physical or just a yearly exam. Nothing is wrong with them. Here's the twist. Their organs are a perfect match for all 5 dying patients. And the doctor is a world-class surgeon. If the organs are taken today, each transplant will succeed. 5 lives saved. No failed operations, no complications. Here's the question. Should the doctor kill the healthy patient, take their organs, and save the 5? Take a second. Answer that in your head. Most people say no, absolutely not. That's murder. But wait. In the trolley problem, many of those same people were willing to pull a lever and sacrifice 1 person to save 5. Surveys often show a clear majority say yes, switch the trolley, kill 1, save 5. Same math, 1 versus 5. But suddenly, for most of us, the answer flips. Why? This scenario is often called transplant or the transplant surgeon dilemma. It's used as a major challenge to simple, just do whatever saves the most lives thinking, especially to basic versions of utilitarianism that say the right action is always the one that maximizes overall good. In other words, if you're willing to pull the lever, shouldn't you also be willing to cut up the healthy patient? Most people want to say yes in the trolley case and no here. Today, we're going to sit inside that tension, not to make you feel guilty or clever, but to ask a deeper question. What are you really protecting when you say no in the transplant case? Let's slow it down. In the trolley problem, the threat already exists. A runaway train is about to kill 5 people. You can redirect it so that tragically 1 person dies instead. You're dealing with a moving danger and trying to reduce the damage. In transplant, the danger doesn't come from you. Those 5 patients are dying from their own illnesses. To save them, you'd have to create a brand new threat, killing an innocent person who was safe a moment ago. That difference matters. Philosopher Philippa Foot argued that in transplant, the dilemma is kill 1 or let 5 die, and killing is morally worse than letting die, even if the numbers favor killing. In the trolley case, by contrast, it's closer to kill 1 or kill 5 because the trolley you set in motion will kill somebody either way. But even that isn't the full story. Think about what the doctor is doing in each case. In the transplant scenario, the healthy person isn't just sadly in the way, they're being used as a tool. Their body becomes a means to an end. If that 1 patient escaped, the doctor's whole plan to save the 5 would fail. That shows the 5 are being saved through the 1 person's death. In the classic trolley switch case, the 1 person is not being used as a tool in the same way. They die as a tragic side effect of redirecting a pre-existing threat. If they somehow got free from the track, your plan to move the trolley away from the 5 would still be the right idea. It's still awful. But your action isn't, I will use your body to fix another problem. It's, I'm trying to reduce harm from something already happening. Philosophers use this difference to talk about using people as a means versus respecting them as ends in themselves, a big theme in Kantian ethics and in human rights thinking. So when you feel that deep no in your stomach at the idea of cutting up the healthy patient, part of what you're reacting to might be this. I don't want to live in a world where innocent people can be sacrificed as resources, even for a bigger good. And notice, your no here doesn't mean you don't care about the 5 dying patients. It means you think some line shouldn't be crossed, even for them. That's a totally different moral instinct than just, how many lives can we save? Let's make this even more real. Imagine hospitals actually work this way. You walk in with a sore throat. A doctor checks your chart and quietly realizes you're a perfect match to save 5 critical patients. Under a pure numbers rule, they'd be required to put you to sleep and harvest your organs. How long before people stop going to the hospital? Trust in medicine would collapse. Every doctor's white coat would feel like a threat. The entire system would become a horror movie. Even if, on paper, you save more total lives, you destroy something else. The basic trust that you will not be treated as raw material. Medical ethics today is built very strongly around a simple idea. First, do no harm. We don't let doctors kill healthy patients, even with consent to distribute organs. The duty not to intentionally harm an innocent person is treated as stronger than the duty to rescue others, even many others. So the transplant dilemma forces a hard question. Do we care only about outcomes? Or do we also care about how we get those outcomes? Most of us, without using big words, are already living with a mixed view. We care about numbers. Of course we do. If we can save 5 instead of 1, we feel pulled in that direction. But we also care about rights, consent, and trust. We don't want a world where your body is up for grabs whenever someone else needs it more. So what does this mean for you and me outside these extreme thought experiments? We might never stand over a healthy patient with a scalpel in a room full of dying people, but we do face softer versions of this question all the time. Is it okay to throw one person under the bus at work to protect the team? Is it okay to share someone's private information if it helps more people? Is it okay to ruin one person's reputation online because they're probably guilty and it might warn others? Notice the structure. Use this one person as a means to some greater good. Or refuse to do that, even if it costs more in the short term. If we're not careful, for the greater good slowly becomes a blank check. You've seen this in history. Governments, companies, movements, doing terrible things to a few for many. Sacrifice the whistleblower. Sacrifice the minority group. Sacrifice the inconvenient voice. That's transplant in slow motion. So what can you actually do with this insight besides feel weird about hospitals? I want to give you 3 questions to hang on to. The next time you're tempted to sacrifice one person for a larger benefit, even socially, emotionally, or professionally, run these through your mind. First question, am I turning this person into a tool? Be honest, is this person just becoming a piece in your plan? Are you treating them as a human with their own life, fears, and hopes? Or just as a convenient solution to someone else's problem? If your entire plan collapses, unless this person gets hurt, excluded, or used, you're probably in transplant territory. Second question, what kind of trust am I breaking? Imagine everyone knew exactly what you were doing. Would they still feel safe around you? Would they still walk into that hospital, that company, that friendship? Or would they keep their distance? Sometimes we defend harm with "no one will know." Transplant shows why that's the wrong test. The real question is, if this behavior became normal, what kind of world would we be living in? Third question, is there a way to carry the cost myself instead of dumping it on the weakest person? In these stories, there's always a cheap fix. Kill the one. In real life, there might be a harder, more expensive way. You speak up. You refuse to participate. You take a risk. You absorb some of the cost so that an innocent person doesn't have to. That doesn't mean you can always fix everything. Sometimes every option really does hurt. But looking for a way to share the burden, not just shift it to the quietest person in the room, is a powerful moral move. So where does this leave our surgeon? Philosophers disagree. A strict, extreme utilitarian might bite the bullet and say, kill the healthy patient. 5 lives beat 1. Most moral theories and almost all actual medical ethics codes say no. They argue that respecting individual rights and maintaining trust is more important than maximizing numbers in this way. But the real point of this thought experiment isn't to make you memorize which side belongs to which philosopher. It's to make you notice a deep truth about yourself. You are not just a calculator of outcomes. You also care about fairness, consent, dignity, and the rules of the game. When you say no to transplant, you're protecting a vision of human life where you are not raw material, even if sometimes that means fewer lives saved in the short run. That's a heavy trade-off. But pretending it isn't there doesn't make it go away. So, next time someone says, "It doesn't matter what we do as long as the result is good," remember the transplant surgeon. Remember the healthy patient who came in for a checkup and never gave consent to be sacrificed. And remember to ask yourself, am I chasing the greater good in a way that quietly destroys trust? Am I using anyone as a means because they're weaker, quieter, or easier to hurt? If everyone did what I'm about to do, would I still want to live in that world? The transplant dilemma doesn't give you easy answers. But it does offer you this: a chance to decide not only how much good you want to do in the world, but also who you refuse to become in the process.